winter come on, that oil and everything, it kind of get chilled, the old clock would stop.
Yeah.
And they bring it in there to him, and he charged, I think, $1.50 to clean this thing. And I wound up doing the cleaning. And what I do, I take them back here in the little back room and just take the hands off, the dial off, take the works out. You go back there and had a big old bowl, a china dish bowl, and full of kerosene. And you take that cool oil, wash it off good, let it dry. Take some 3-in-1 oil it up good, put it back in. And run for another year.
How old were you when you were doing
Lord,
that?
I don't know. I'd be a little fella. But I worked there.
12, 14 years old.
They kept me back there for a good while. I made what spending money I made of it. That's where I got it.
Really?
Did you get to keep the $1.50, or you just
No,
get
I
to keep the
didn't
quarter?
maybe at the end of the week I'd get $1.50.
You remember that black
We didn't have. He didn't have a bunch of bookkeeping. He had certain prices he charged for watches. He charged so much for cleaning and so much to put a balance staff in, and had a certain price for all that. And the cash register was a drawer under there. They had pockets about that big, and you put nickels in one, dimes in one, quarters, $half, and dollar bills was over there. So I needed money. Well, he'd go out and drink coffee up there at the little cafe. I usually get enough money to take care of it.
Take care.
Well, like I say, wasn't anything wrote down no more.
Yeah.
So we had pretty. I helped him and he helped me, and we.
Did Granny ever learn to drive? Did she ever drive?
I don't know.
No, I'm sure she did, but I don't know.
Well,
We never had a car.
We didn't have anything to drive.
One brother.
She could hook up a horse and buggy.
George, he never, the oldest brother, he never had no inclination to do any mechanical work at all. He was more working on a watch or clock. That was out of his
He could build things.
But Willie,
Yeah.
he was an expert watchmaker. He followed it till he died. Of course, he had several watch shops all over the country. Never could make a success out of any of them.
Right.
He just
But he could do the work.
stayed in
Yeah,
business,
he was
stay in the
good,
business, out of the business from all of it. But my father, he made a statement time until he'd like to make A1 watchmakers out of all of us.
Really?
That was his lookout. And he learned it himself. He didn't have any teachers. He started off, he come to that country as kind of a clerk at a store. And he wound up as being the bookkeeper to the store. How he did that, I don't know, because he never had a whole lot of schooling.
Yeah.
He had a pretty handwriting.
He
though.
kept all the records and kept books for the biggest store there in town.
Where did he come
And
from?
he was fixing these watches for the people in the store and around on the side. He was doing that at night. And he finally got to where he opened up his own shop and did that. And he did all right. At that time, the railroads kept their schedule by the conductor's watch and the switcher's watch. There wasn't any radio or the telephone that. They kept that railroad running by that watch. That watch,
Right.
so whether you run, it's supposed to run, be at certain station at a certain time, and it was all by that watch. And he had a contract with the Kansas City Southern Railroad Company to maintain these watches, and that was one of his biggest sources of cash was from these railroad people's watches, because they had to have a good watch, you know. And the railroad company saw that they did have it, and they must have paid for it, because his contract was with the railroad to maintain these watches. And that was his biggest source of income. Of course, he repaired everybody watch. He wouldn't work on a wristwatch.
Is that right?
He little
Pocket
fellow,
watch.
he said it's too late, you didn't fool with that. Of course, that was before men started wearing wristwatches.
Pocket watch.
The only man that had a wristwatch in town was the doctor.
Oh,
And everybody else had pocket watches. In fact, I don't know what in the world ever happened to mine. When I graduated from high school, he gave me a little wrist about with the 12 size Elgin pocket watch, white gold case, snap case.
You don't know what happened.
Like I say, I don't ever know you know whatever happened to it.
Did y'all
I
ever
probably got to buy him for money somewhere.
right.
Got rid of it.
Did y'all ever play like jokes on each other? You know, like sisters against a brother or anything like that?
He was
Yeah.
awful bad.
Was he
Hey,
really
Jack.
bad? Didn't
And
he?
Jack would have stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mama sent me in to wake up Francis. Go wake up Francis.
Yeah.
It's time for him to get up and go to school.
I used to
I'd
help
go over
him,
there and then I'd do
on
like this,
their
back up and run.
watches.
Because he'd come up there to
I
fight.
never was up to repairing one. I could clean one and tear it down, clean it, put it back together. But as far as that work, all the little stuff, putting the end down of a watch, I never could. I never did have the patience, I guess, to learn how to do that.
But Grandpa did that. He would fix them.
Yeah,
He would fix them.
Oh, yeah.
What was?
And Bill.
he had his own tools, special tools. He had his workbench, like to sit here. Offers, but they're all,
Right.
like I say,
Margaret.
practically every one of those names finished high school the same year as I did.
Yeah.
But as far as they now, and as far as they made name don't mean anything, you know,
Yeah.
married
What year did you graduate?
32.
32.
Like I said, Lois Bird, she was one of them. Bessie Couturier, she was there. Audrey Alford, but all those people, because they married, the names all.
Yeah, but Audrey Alford, I know that's, was related to the Pews. That
But
was, she's
I'd like to
passed
say if I could come up with Lois's name, I'd call her.
Yeah. Well, we can look at the phone book and see if any of those names are in there.
All those people, like I said, Adelina, when she was living, she came up with all that.
Yeah.
And they had favorite class reunion. She always went. She sent me a list of people.
Right.
And name from his mother. She was a Keith. Came from Keithville,
Right.
town of Keithville. And
Well, I was at the Vines house this afternoon. Gussie Vines, you remember?
yeah.
Up at there on
Yeah.
that street at the corner. Well, they have a
Well,
daughter.
Robert, you know, he was a big fox hunter.
Right.
He down in this low place between him and the Vines. He had a pen a foxhound.
Yeah.
And Miss Jackson, she was, for some reason, she was scared to stay by herself. She used to pay me
Yeah.
to come over and
Right.
spend the night, this big old yearly boy. But if I'd go over and spend the night, anywhere 50 cents or sometimes 75 cents, it was really good money for me, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
That was one of my jobs.
Right. That must have been before she
But,
had the kids. I
But
wonder.
she was some kind of lady.
Yeah, she was.
She-
He was too.
I don't know what become of Keith. He had a drugstore around over close to Minden somewhere. The last I heard of him,
Really?
I don't know whether he passed away or what.
No, he's.
I was telling some friend, I guess, as we was talking about it here. I don't know why. Maybe some other people are like this, but I get to thinking sometime of a name, you know, back.
Right.
And Lord knows, ain't no way in the world I can think of it. Some way I got
Out of
thinking
the
of something. Up the street from where we live, was the Pierces. One time they lived right across the street from us before the Jacksons did. And then they moved and they built a house. up right across the street from the schoolhouse. And there was Mr. Pierce was named William. Yeah, what I call him, Bill. And his wife was Annie. And I have heard them call each other's name, Bill and Annie, do this, about this. And then, of course, had 2 daughters, one named Elaine, one named Maggie was the oldest.
Right.
And 2 boys was William and Floyd. But I knew all these names, had no problem. And I got to thinking about her name. She come from between Zawala and Blue Lake. I've been out to the house many a time and everything. And there's no way that I could come up with her maiden name. And I thought about it, I thought about it. And I got to thinking about, well, who will I ask, if I get off over here? I run out of names to ask. I don't know who to ask.
All right.
All the Pierces,
Well, we need to
I know
find out.
her dad, W.H. is the boy,
Yeah.
he passed away.
He
And
did.
then Floyd, as far as I know, he and his wife had a root beer stand or something up on Cross Lake above Shreveport. Last I heard of him, then I heard later he had passed away.
Really?
But all those people are gone now. As far as me finding out her name, I haven't got the slightest idea who to ask.
Right.
Granny's house. The sidewalk. To Mr. Hoodley's house. Now where the school was, there's a post office. And the only thing left is the auditorium of the old school. The only part of the building. There's the hill.
Seems like
Here's the Hoobley store. Mr. Hoobley's the store we got to walk up to, get candy. It's great.
So,
oh, really? That you got married in? Because I've always asked you, what'd you get married in?
I'll show you.
You don't have your pictures in a book?
Not that memorial.
I love them. So you can look, try to look by age.
Well, we probably should go through your
Yeah.
pictures now and
Let
make
her
books
tell
some
you.
other. Yeah, we should.
Make one for y'all.
We need to have a slumber party at your. When John's home, we'll come over and
Then
have a
y'all
slumber
should
party
do
and put together some scrapbooks for you.
You would enjoy that as much as you would this book.
Yeah,
You
this
look at it every day. You could journal it.
Big gold lunch, 45 minutes to do it.
What do you think? What do you think?
yeah.
It's good, huh?
I remember those. To me,
I
those were
see.
long steps.
They were.
And she used to go throw her scraps out to the cat, I believe, right?
I thought it was chicken.
Chicken?
That's what I thought. I remember in the backyard chickens. I think I was scared of them.
Oh, I thought, well, what?
Maybe she had a cat. She did have a cat too.
I have a picture of 3 of my friends and me. And we came over here and dug a hole behind his house and buried something in a jar. Something we were going to come back. So I have
Is
a
it back
picture.
there?
Yeah.
Well, let's go get it. It's a treasure hunt.
Right.
I know that lady.
What was it?
I don't
Where did
Probably
you
just our names.
did you dig it up or something?
No, it's still back there, Ben.
Let's ask that lady.
She's looking for she's looking for the initial right now, y'all. So don't push her.
Whose initial was supposed to be in the sidewalk?
Remember? I think it would have been the boys.
Still lives.
He lives up there.
He was the youngest. Now, is
He's got some health problems, but he still gets out.
And Hazel, the one that
Get up there so I can get y'all all
But I
y'all
don't
together.
remember.
lived in Baton Rouge, so she and I were friends all the time. She's in a nursing home.
Who is that?
Hazel Hoover.
and you're Springer, and so you're the
Daughter of this.
and y'all lived right.
And where a house was there, yeah.
Were you the youngest one then?
Well, were you?
I don't think,
Were you here when we were coming?
no, because did your grandmother live in that house as well?
My grandmother lived right here.
Okay, this
this
is
is
the
Miss-
Miss.
this is the Miss Springer.
Where
That's
that's
Yeah,
That's
that's
who
I know.
now,
It's
now
Miss
we're
Springer.
good.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that she lived not right next door, but that.
No, I was thinking it was this house.
I knew grandmother.
Okay, but your
That's-
grandmother and our grandmother were very close. Because I remember your grandmother coming over to the house. Yeah. A long time ago.
You have
And
a
you've
nice
been here
fence
25
too now. Looks good.
Yeah.
Do you remember Miss Phillips?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
do?
do? What do you remember about her?
I don't know. We used to just visit with her.
She loved kids.
She always kept her grass a certain height.
Really?
She wouldn't let them cut it too low, you know.
Yeah, it wouldn't die.
It was so green and lush.
But I was thinking that I remember that she had hydrangeas.
Yeah, she did.
At
Blue
ones.
Blue hydrangeas.
And there was
Mama
a
could just
big
stick a
tree
stick
in the backyard.
grass
That's
and
what
it'd
We
grow.
cut it down because it was so enormous.
That's what Aunt Margaret was just talking about. She came
I
home
was
from
so scared of
school
it.
one day and her cat was up in the tree and cat was hollering and she asked my dad, she said, go get my cat down for me. She said, I'm not gonna get that cat.
He did.
She finally made him go
I
get it.
know,
I
he
remember
got
that
out
big
on that
old
limb.
tree. Yeah, but that big tree was big 40
And it
years ago. I
sloped
can
way
imagine.
down. It seemed to me like it was just sloped way down back there. Especially when you're
With
little,
the
you know.
little old kid.
It does
that's
kind of
afraid to jump.
slow, yeah.
I remember she was real put out when they built that little house there.
Springer's house?
She thought she owned everything on here.
Yeah.
She loved this place.
Okay, y'all, if we're gonna see the rest of Manny, we need to get on the bus.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
So did you live in this house?
No,
Did you live here?
yeah,
Okay.
Now, wasn't it right here?
yeah. Like I say, we lived here with the guy.
Well, you know what I remember? Was that we lived right across the street, but I guess this was pretty close. And then the Carmichael lived next door to us. You remember them?
And Daddy had
They had just that one
Down
boy.
the corner, Bill Rogers lived down there. And he had a daughter with Pearl Melton.
Yeah, right. Now I remember that.
They lived there.
Yeah. And then,
But like I say, the town vines, they lived out over
Right.
here.
let's walk. Can you walk down the street?
Yeah.
Would you like to?
Up to you.
The lady at the Knight's house are offering to let us go through the house.
Oh. It's a hair place now.
Yeah.
You don't. Oh, you're getting pictures, right, Ann? Because I'm not doing like still pictures.
You know, this house, has it been remodeled?
Yeah.
I don't remember those.
No,
How
it changed. Those wasn't up there.
But these trees, and remember Mr. Jackson used to come out and
There's a car. They don't hear.
come on the whatever fence, I guess, to get the, I remember
Like I
that
said, he
well.
had a pen down here where he kept his dog.
Yeah, and that's so pretty. So they must have had like 2 acres.
Yeah, they had a big thing.
Yeah. And then, this sidewalk was right along
Yeah,
here.
they had a football field.
Right. We used to come, this was after your time, but I played in the mud, sit on the sidewalk and we'd make it a ship one time, and, you know, all the kids, their neighborhood.
Pretty property.
Had a big backyard, had a garden back
It's a
there.
shame they haven't kept this
I
house
remember
up. It could be really pretty.
But it seems like there was a sidewalk here, but I guess not. And it seemed like so much further than it is now.
Well, everything looked larger, you know it did when you were little.
Yeah. And then, let's see, and this house has been built since.
Yeah.
Since we were here.
Wasn't anything there.
Uh-huh. But the vines, see,
Not the vines.
still there. Oh, we're leaving Margaret in the car. Somebody, they could drive her down
Yeah.
here. But we came to Catherine's house yesterday and went in. Remember Miss Gussie?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had done several paintings. I didn't know she did that. Do you remember that? Yeah. And he had a service station or whatever. And that was after you left, probably. After you left, yeah. You remember the Damers that lived?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had those two girls and that boy that was a preacher. And that must be her husband, Catherine's husband.
Oh.
Or somebody's doing the painting. Maybe it's somebody else.
I don't know.
This is all improved more than it was. We lived here, but this house has been there. It's gonna be.
You want to let her see us?
She's on the porch, so she'll come
People
out.
lived here.
I don't know who used to live on this corner.
Damers.
Hi.
Right, Damer. I think Mama
Hi.
said Damer.
We're looking over your neighborhood.
How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good.
Is that Francis?
That's
there?
Francis. Yeah.
Is that Lightfoot?
Yeah.
Lightfoot.
Is that his
I'm so
nickname?
glad y'all
That was
came
his
back.
nickname.
Lightfoot?
This
Lightfoot.
is Ruth Gleason
Oh, that's her
and
husband.
her brother Francis Phillips
Hi.
And
her
Beth.
daughter
Beth.
Ann.
Beth. I'm
Yeah,
Beth.
but
I
got
know
you.
you got one of them right. Good.
Bless you.
We're taking a tour.
Well, we're so glad, bless you.
You're getting everything done.
Still
Well,
looks so
he
good.
came early, bless his heart, and started painting.
Good.
And I'm looking around now to get some kerosene, I thought, to clean off all the brushes.
Yeah.
Oh, I declare. And where y'all parked up the street. Yeah. Wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad y'all came by. Clint said yesterday, said, Catherine, did you have company there yet? Why didn't you let me know so I could have put on some clothes and come in there
Yeah,
and
we
greet
would have liked it
and
more.
greeted him, bless you.
Yeah, but that's okay.
You've seen us in our early morning attire.
Oh, well.
Anyway.
You're out working.
Francis, you're looking good. Been a long, long time since I've
It's been
seen
a
you.
while.
Bless your heart. Keith Jackson mentioned you.
Is
Last summer.
Keith still living?
He's still living, so is George.
Well, I saw a note in a paper here not long ago about George, about, being...
Yes, being honored after, what
saw
was it,
that.
40 years, poor thing. They finally got to it for his honor.
Well,
This
his
child
Everett, he left,
went up north to New York.
Yeah,
That's
right.
And came back. Mr. Ott got him to come back. And then his second wife, both wives died. First one had leukemia up north. Then the second wife was a Canadian, lovely woman, lovely lady. She passed on. She had an aneurysm, bless her. Then, 8 years later, his old sweetheart's sister, the Henry girls, Dr. Henry, was a dentist here umpteen years ago, before we were born, I imagine. And Doris went by to see Sarah, his sister in Shreveport. She called Emory and said, Emory, Doris Scott came by here, and Margaret's living in Lake Jackson, Texas now. And her husband was deceased. They got together. He went to Lake Jackson to visit.
Now, see, this is my age. There's another girl. Where did Aunt Elma live? It's like here, huh?
Yeah,
In that,
right.
where that space is. Yeah. It's a terrible sound. everything go.
Be careful. You have a lot of traffic in this town.
Yeah. Right, it's a busy place. So the vines on all this, I guess. And then enamel is down here. Yeah. We were scared of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, this is Miss Farley's house.
Yeah.
Still looks good.
Down there was Sherman.
Yeah.
Willie Sherman.
Right at the end. And then that apartment that we lived in was right here, I think. I don't know how this.
Yeah, they rearranged all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that little lady, we were scared of her. What was her name? Miss.
I can't remember her
can't
name,
think
but
of it
I'll think of it later.
Yeah, right. Now, I guess Miss Farley, they must have owned all this.
Yeah, they owned all that.
Since nobody's
They
built.
had a block.
Yeah. I'd love to see that house, but I wouldn't remember it. You know, went in there and she'd have the Sunday school class for ice cream, homemade ice cream. But the house looks good. So I guess that's all we need to see down this way, huh? And I don't remember if there was a house there, do you? Later, I think one of Miss Farley's sons lived there. I'm sure.
Was she a friend of Granny's, Miss Pearlie? Is that how y'all knew her?
Her husband had a store, and she taught Sunday school.
Is the train track pretty close, huh? It's just right down there?
So close. Gosh, it scared me. No, I just don't remember who lived in that house. And at one time, when Adelina and Bill got married, remember that? They lived, I don't know if her folks lived there, and they stayed with them, your Gozas.
They lived right around Phillips.
Right. And they would bring Joe by, Mama would keep him. And because Adelina was still in school. So were you.
We finished high
Y'all
school
finished together. And Bill was what, like 2 years older than you?
I think she laid out, missed a year right in there somewhere,
Right.
rereading the shoes.
I see.
Graduated when I did.
Yeah. Now, I don't remember
I don't know.
I forget. You remember
There
the
wasn't
name.
too much in here,
Yeah.
built in here.
But you know, there was an apartment house. That's where Mom and I lived too. At one point.
Yeah.
I forget.
Seemed like the
Was it duplex?
authors, Kathleen author.
Yeah, that's right. That's where they lived. Yeah. Shall we go back?
Ernest
Yeah.
author.
Maybe we need to just go back and get the car, since we don't know that way. I wanted you to see where W.H. Pierce lived on that corner up there.
Yeah, well, looks like all that house is gone.
Well,
There's another house there now.
Oh, you think? Well, they say, let's see, what is his name? Cole, that the Ferris girl married. I think that's where they live. I think he was in politics. See, Catherine's been married for 50 years now.
Oh, okay.
To that guy, yeah. She married
I
kind
didn't realize that she was talking about the Keith Jackson. I didn't realize he was still alive.
Yeah. Oh, I saw him. We had a reunion in Manny. And Keith and I were from here to that fire plug. We both just ran to each other.
Aw.
Right. He's such a sweet boy.
Was he a friend of Uncle Francis?
He lived across. No,
Right
he
across
was.
the street.
He was about a year younger than me, and George and I were the same age.
I tell you, they were Jackson. They were nice.
They were.
You know, one time after we bought that place down, we were living in you got city taxes, parish taxes, you know, on it. And it was in my name. And I got behind with my taxes. I was working away from here, and my mother got real concerned about it. She watched every penny, and so she told me, she you need to take this, you need to help about that. So I stopped and by Robert's office. He was at the courthouse there. I told him, I said, I got behind my taxes. I need to catch them up. And he said, don't your mother live in that house? I said, yeah. He said, well, I'll tell you one thing, as long as she lives there, you don't have no taxes.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
I sure
mean,
do.
That kind of people he worked.
Right.
Great people.
Not town.
I've never been in it.
Oh, really?
I've walked through it.
Did your mom get to go?
No. But we
I hate to leave her.
I don't know which
Wasn't
way.
this one of Miss Jackson's? No.
No. See, this was
back.
This
You
was.
were things.
I think I was a baby then.
Yeah.
That'd been a long time ago.
And where was it taken?
It would have to be about
Front porch.
1924, I would think.
Where was it?
In front of Mother's house.
This is her
It
mother.
faced the western side at that
her
time.
sister.
It faced the
I
west.
remember.
A big pardon?
Miss Gussie.
She was Gussie Bridges
Francis
from
remembers
Claiborne
when she
Parish
looked
and
like
then
that.
Bienville
I
Parish.
don't know who
She was
them
born in Athens and they grew up in Gippsland, Louisiana, which is Bienville Parish.
This is her.
There used to be a
mother
gigantic
and
sister
sister.
tree here, but
Let's
it's
see what we have over here.
gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at all these.
These are wonderful old pictures.
This is Kathy.
They are ancient, all right.
I was just
Are
kind
there
of.
any of you and Catherine?
Remember.
Can you see any of you and Catherine?
You're right.
I don't
In
know.
fact,
Because
someday I might be gone.
Yeah.
and right now I'm feeling like it won't be too far off.
Must be Judy.
But I
Is
mean,
this-
if you
That was at Whitworth College.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Becky Bill Page.
Oh, okay.
Now, you might remember Becky Page from Roebeline.
I know.
She's in bad shape.
But we need to, and all of these probably are your.
Yes, we do.
Yes, and Joe.
Who's Susie?
Susie, that's grandmother. My grandmother and grandfather.
Oh.
I never knew her.
And Zeffie and George.
Gosa. I was trying to remember her name. Gosa. I was trying to remember Gosa all the way over here yesterday.
Who's Benjamin?
Herbert West, that's Brother's Road.
I guess Athena.
That's nice.
That grandfather was Nathan Fisher with.
Do you remember these? Uncle? That's Athena.
That's it.
About this?
That's grandpa.
No, Grandpa's.
My mother's grandpa.
That's Grandpa and Grandma.
18
This is her brothers.
1907.
Herbert on this side. And that's
Nathan Clinton is a junior.
Nathan Fisher West.
Well, there's an NP West up here, though. Who is this?
This is a junior back
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I remember Uncle Herbert.
Crutches for the last many years of his life. He got hurt. He couldn't walk without crutches. He stopped him from doing a lot of things. I've seen him. We had had a garden in the back of the house. So he had an old straight chair. He'd get out there in that chair and sit down in it and hold a plate. Sit around and move that chair and hold some more. He worked in that garden.
I remember that garden in the back of her house.
Now, who is this? I missed that. Who's Benjamin Herbert?
Uncles. Mama's
Okay.
brothers.
Mrs. Anlina.
neighbors, huh? And this is Brothers Junior.
Where's Uncle George buried? Okay. The shadow?
Is that more?
This is west and west of them.
She just had the one name, I said, that's all I can remember. I think she ever had another name.
Zephyr May,
May?
May.
I think.
How'd you spell it?
That's St.
If she ever
Jack's.
had another name, I seemed like I couldn't come up with it.
M-A-Y or M-A-E?
Huh?
M-A-Y or M-A-E?
M-A-E, I think. I don't think of that either. Inez is,
Zephyr Inez.
yeah. That's right. And this was Washington, right?
Yeah.
And see, this is Grandpa and Grandma. You remember her?
Oh, yeah.
See, I don't remember her.
Passed away.
She died before I was
Nathan
born.
who?
Yep.
Nathan
That's Susie, right?
Susie Charlotte.
and
Right.
where's
Susie
Nathan?
Charlotte.
And his brother.
She died July 4th, 1921. That
Benjamin
was cleaning,
Herbert.
didn't it?
Where's
For many years, the maintenance of this place was on a yearly basis.
Right.
And then it finally wound up, it made a permanent deal.
Willie.
Adelina used to keep up with when
Right.
all this was due. She'd call me, but we
Right.
just
Mom, is Uncle Bill buried here?
No,
He was living down south
where his wife was. We went to the
in Columbus or Columbia or something.
And where's Uncle George?
Dad said he's moving over to
He and Mamie are Kashada.
Shadow.
Oh, really?
And do you remember these two uncles?
I think.
Offhand?
I remember
Goza?
Adelina. Goza, Phillips. Who's over there?
That's Mama's brother,
her.
Benjamin, and this is NP.
He was a real nice, quiet
Junior.
guy.
But I don't remember him leaving. I mean, it must be a middle name or something. Come over here. Come over here.
Oh, okay. Got to get to the end of this row.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know you and the stick on the same side. I don't know what made me think I could walk that one. Sure. It means it's a I never did know how to spell it. What nationality?
I don't know.
I remember the name. I
Would be
remember the
Susie
name.
West and
I remember
Margaret.
him. She marries.
I'm sure you all remember, but Mama was very concerned about this. Most of these plots had an iron fence around.
Yeah, I remember that.
Most of people didn't keep up this.
No, father. And evidently, when this was put down, probably Joe and Inez
Yeah,
did this.
yeah.
Susie Charlotte.
Grandma. Susie Sharp. That's who I named.
You should have named me Nancy Sharp.
But I didn't think about that. Well, I just couldn't think of anything
You know
to
what?
put with Nancy, so we just didn't give you
This is
nothing.
Cliff's birthday.
Nancy Sharp.
Mother. You know,
I
this
don't
is Cliff's
have a middle
birthday.
name. We can
and
Sean
your
Elizabeth,
grandmother.
Margaret Lee,
Oh,
and
it's
just
like March the
Nancy.
22nd.
Not for the year, though.
Nancy
No, not
Charlotte.
the year.
Wouldn't
That
be
would have been
pretty?
so
That'd be pretty.
cute.
Mother.
Well, I'm sorry, Nancy. You should have spoken up.
I tried. I did have Ann. I made myself a little Nancy Ann when I was growing up because people would ask me my middle
Yeah.
name and I didn't know and I didn't have one. So I just said
I tell you,
Nancy
I
Ann.
just couldn't think of anything to go with Nancy. You know, so we just didn't name
It's
it.
so pretty by itself. There's no need.
Really well.
You weren't around to say that when I needed it.
See you.
Okay. You want glad you did. And I brought you some candy.
Oh, her favorite.
Oh,
Good chocolate candy. Good. You want to sit right there?
Yeah. What is this? Chocolate candy.
She can't see.
You like that kind? Yeah. Good.
She needs some sweetening.
Huh?
You need some sweetening.
They give you a hard time.
They do. We try to.
Right.
What is this? Y'all
That's
so
just
far have
chocolate
gotten my
candy. I thought you
BUT.
might like that.
I didn't take it yet,
Oh,
Laura.
good. Who's taking pictures?
Well, we got
Huh?
my daughter Ann. Do you remember Ann?
Yeah,
And Beth?
yeah.
You remember those?
Huh?
And Peggy?
She looks
Yeah.
so good. She looks
Sure.
really
And
good.
Margaret, your sister Margaret?
yesterday.
You remember her?
She has never,
What is this?
That's candy for
She
you.
says
We're
it
gonna put
wants
it down
to
over
be.
here.
Oh yeah, but she looks so good.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, she looks.
Now what do I do?
Well, you just sit there and look pretty.
Huh?
You just sit here and look pretty.
I can't do
Yes,
that.
you can.
Can you wave?
I can't do that.
Hey, Mama,
Wave.
wave at the camera.
They want you to wave
That's
at the
okay.
camera.
She will.
See, they're taking.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. right.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. She's making a movie of us.
Oh my goodness.
We'll send you a copy.
Yeah. Great. Good.
Is that?
Never saw
Oh,
such
that's
a mess.
yeah. Is your mama okay? Did she need
How about Aunt
Just
Margaret?
leave it open.
Huh?
Is Aunt Margaret in yet?
Smoke out as we can. Is she smoking?
Oh.
Can't you
went
smell
to
it?
Manny.
Well, you can't
Uh,
probably
we,
can't smell it.
And
Margaret
Jane has
and
done
Francis
everything to get
and
it
me,
out, you know.
we went to Manny
How wonderful.
yesterday. And so we wanted to come and see you today.
Good.
Yeah. And Francis just didn't feel like making this trip, so he did not come.
Now
You
we've
know
got
who
stopped in
Francis
the, what
is?
is it, the Breeze Company?
Not without thinking.
Your brother,
Older band.
Older.
your youngest brother,
Okay.
your
Older
youngest
band.
brother.
Okay, and his name's Francis.
Right. Yeah.
No. Gallon
Huh?
concentrate.
Francis.
Okay.
And you just,
Yeah.
and it'll
And
have
he
spray
did not
bottle with
come
it.
with us, but he
What?
wanted to
You
come.
use all that,
Huh?
you just
He
fill up
wanted
the-
to come, but he did not come.
The
Why
spray bottle
didn't he?
is
Well,
much
he
with
said he
our bed
needed,
and
like Mama, he needed to get back home.
Everything. Okay.
Okay.
He'll come another time.
Okay.
Okay.
Get your out, it'll get smoke out.
I don't know.
Okay.
And it's
Right.
also,
Wonderful.
yes.
You know where I live?
Moisture,
Now, I live in
where I don't think
Texas.
Febreze goes.
Yeah.
How do you like Texas?
I like Texas.
Oh, good.
Very
I like
much.